conversation with 4 newcomers who are here to change the landscape of the movies. I'm in conversation with Jibraan Khan, who made a sensational debut with Ishq Vish Remix. I'm in conversation with Anushka Sen, who has 40 million followers on Instagram. Woo! She is now going to be even a huge sensation in Korea. I'm in conversation with Preeti, who was absolutely smashing in Girls Will Be Girls. And I'm in conversation with the latest heartthrob on the internet, Varun Sood. Thank you for being part of my conversation.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
My first question to all of you is, if you had to do something differently about the movies that you worked in, something differently about your career, what would it be?
I would start taking workshops a little early, I feel. I think I spent so much time in reality that I wasn't aware of the fact that fiction is such a beautiful space to be in, and the craft needs time. So I would start taking workshops a little early in my career.
What about you, Preeti?
Nothing. No? It was a great start. I'm grateful to it. It was a first for a lot of people on set. So I would give it to that, figuring out. Everyone was trying. Everyone was understanding who they were. Likewise for me. And that's something I would want to continue for the next projects. Like, give myself the time to figure things out, not to be perfect for everything. That'll make it easier for me, bit relaxing when I'm just stepping into this. Yeah. And also to be unsure, I feel like I had not done much workshopping before this project. So I want to keep myself clear for other projects, like whatever kind of techniques they want me to imbibe for those projects, I would want myself to be ready for those. A bit contrary to what you said.
But I agree with what you
said.
Yeah,
that's very important. Yeah.
Yes, Ms. Sen?
I would say that if I look back and think about every single decision that I've made, and if I question that right now, it'll not do justice to that Anushka who was taking those decisions, right? So I feel I've always kept an open mind. I've tried to keep that balance between being strategic and going with the flow. So I would like to just continue that, I would say. For example, there's a project that, for Dil Dosti Dilemma, I'll talk about that. I'll take that as an example. Before that, I had a lot of scripts that I read and I was lacking something and I was like, okay, I don't want to do this. I always wanted my first web series to be something that you can watch with anybody. Like, it's something that makes you smile. It feels like a warm hug. So I was just waiting for that, old school romance kind of a show. It was just my opinion. I love watching all kind of genres, but that is something that I wanted to do. So I strategically chose that. But there are some things in life, like Khatron Ke Khiladi is a reality show. That is something that I never thought I would do at the age of 18. So that was just me going with the flow. So that's how I would say that my career has been.
Yes, veteran of 20 years. Let us know.
Firstly, thank you for having us all here. I think it's a great privilege and honor to just be with Filmfare, all of you. When I look back to my first film right now, I think I would stop giving attention to the smaller things. For example, like what's happening in the promotions, what's happening, with just set behavior and all of that, because as actors, sometimes you think that, arey, idhar kya ho raha hai, idhar kyun nahi ho raha hai, why are my lines less, all of that. Because I feel after the release of my film, now that I look back at it, it just feels so like, I feel like I could have just not given it even a thought, because the end package matters at the end of the day. If you're good at what you're doing, eventually, people will like you. So I think everything around in the process, the smaller things are just noise. Like, I don't want to get into the extreme details.
Bog you down, this social media, these expectations, promotions, marketing. Does that, like, I'm specifically pointing out to you and Jibraan because obviously Jibraan has been in the business for a while. So he's been an AD on Brahmastra and has the Dharma background. So there is a certain training that comes there. And there's you who's, done, like, say, compared to her who's a complete fresher. Is there added pressure as actors to, camouflage, present this, like we said, this really correct, proper, sexy, cool, image and all of that? Are you very conscious of what you say, what you put out on the media? Is that added pressure?
So I feel if you're a public figure, it is very difficult to, like, have a strategy for everything. Like, you can't think about every single thing that you're saying at every single interview that you're doing, every promotion that you're at. Like, your brain has to be at 100% that, oh, I'll manipulate this answer, I'll manipulate that answer. There has to be a time where your guard just goes down. And for me, I chose that for myself.
Does it go down?
I have been vulnerable since I started loving this job. So I started at the age of 7, and I think by 13, 14, I realized that this is what I was born to do. And I'm just enjoying the process, and I'm like that as a person.
When you say you're 7, you were a child actor?
Yes. I've been a child actor.
That makes us two. Connection there.
Makes us two, right?
But can I please add something to this as well? I think from being a child actor to now, like the whole graph has changed, like the promotions, etc. and all.
Yeah.
So when we started our promotions, I remember the first or second day, we had 21 interviews lined up in the day, from morning 9 to like evening. So I remember in the first second only, I was zoning out because they were, I'm so sorry, but they were asking us the same questions, wohi bar bar. So I just realized that instead of being a parrot, because my other 3 co-stars knew my answers by the second, third interview, I said, you know what, screw it, I'm just going to be myself and I'm going to have fun. And I'm so surprised by this. I thought nobody watches these interviews, but guys, I still get messages saying, dude, you are so organic with your interviews. We loved it. We laughed. Oh, you said this. We relate to this. And I was just being myself. Like, I was just like, masti karna hai yaar. Let's not put on a front, because I feel somewhere because of the whole social media image, we are losing the authenticity. So how does a common man sitting and scrolling on his couch relate to you? If you're going to be completely proper in everything, they are not going to relate to you. I think that zamana is gone. People want more authentic stuff. For example, Diljit Dosanjh right now, because I just found his orating skills to another level, and I just thought he's not trying. He's speaking in Punjabi, he's speaking in Hindi. उनको कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है वो इंग्लिश में बात करे, स्पेनिश में. He's just connecting. And that is why there is this massive rave and footfall for that man. He's worked for so many years, but why is it that now there's this massive pop? Because he's connecting to the people with his authenticity. Please keep aside the music. Just the way he speaks, you just hear him. He's so genuine.
How was it for you, Preeti, when you came with a clean slate?
Yeah.
And maybe, your director was also a debutant, it helped you. But was there any sort of, what were your reference points? I know you're also doing a course in animation, if I'm not, which you plan to, yes, and I think she plans to take that as a full-time career if it happens.
No.
No?
I don't plan to take anything as a full-time career.
Not even acting?
I mean, I'm enjoying it now, which is great. I'm very grateful for the opportunity I have, but also life is so uncertain because once, post-pandemic, we realized so many things we were hoping for are gone for a toss. So I can't always take this for granted that now that I've stepped into acting, it's going to remain forever. Maybe one day I'll lose a leg. Maybe I'll one day... don't say that. I know, I'm just saying.
So dark. I think but she's so detached. That's amazing.
But also, when I just said that, I don't mean to say that anyone who... I feel like the space should be as inclusive as possible. It shouldn't be a barrier that if someone has, any... especially able people should be included in this field. It shouldn't be like once I've lost this part of me, I don't get into it. Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, I just did that reaction because I was like, oh.
No, but Preeti, I'm very, very keen to know, what were your reference? Were you planning to be an actor? How did it happen? See, with all the others, it's very clear they all wanted to be an actor. He's been a child actor, he's been a child actor. But I'd really like to know your journey.
Likewise, my dad wanted to become a director. He had all these cinema books stored in his libraries, and he had a bunch of cameras. I was just talking to a photographer here about that. So films were very much a part of my life, and I never thought that this is not something I cannot attain. Because my dad had that dream, I was like, okay, this is a dream I can also see. And he was also pursuing me that, the film is run by a director and they are the ones who are in charge of it. If you really want to do films, if you really want to understand, become a director. So I was always up for that. I was always up for that challenge to pick up the camera, edit something and make something. I used to do that in my school. I think once I got a bit older, I understood, okay, industry is a different ball game altogether. Like I can make films, put it out on YouTube and have like a reach for my particular audience, but to make it, you know, to that level, to distribute it, it's a different thing, which I understood when I got here. It also happened very organically that I gave an audition, and it reached Dilip sir, and he called me and he said, like, the director really likes you, why don't you just come for a chemistry test. Happened very organically. This wasn't the first audition. I gave a few in the pandemic, got rejected, got weirdly talked with some casting directors. So yeah, that's quite unfortunate. But anyway, this was great, and everything happened.
Oh, that still happens, huh?
Yeah. Certain terms, like send a certain picture, you know, this is not looking like that picture, she would send that picture. And I'm happy that my first film, Girls, was so much in sync with what I wanted, because I wanted to be very organic, and I wanted to accept the way I am. I didn't go through any change. Even my eyebrows, everything, my body hair, everything was there in the film. So I was very happy with that. I was very happy with I love that. Again, I was cursing the pandemic, but I'm very happy because of the pandemic. There's so much diversity now, so many people can come forward and express who they are, and I think we got rid of that. We got very unhinged in that pandemic. We were wearing our home clothes, we were out there, even on social media we were wearing our home clothes. Hum ghar mein kya bana rahe, we are posting that. Our hair is, everybody became a chef, our hair was tied in whichever way it was. So maybe some of these things should come back, like people should see you unfiltered. A lot of models, maybe like Bella Hadid, she would put pictures of herself crying. Why is social media only a space for you to be, you know, in your happy moments? It could also be you, where you share your grief.
Yeah, right. And adding to that, I think we're getting better with social media. I think now the focus has shifted to being your authentic selves, and that's why I enjoy being on social media. Like, it's not like a job for me, or it's not like, it doesn't feel like a pressure, at least to me, that I have to be out there or look a certain way. I'm just like that as a person, that okay, if I'm feeling like this, I'm just going to share it. And over so many years, I've built this community of fans, and there's so many people who walk up to me and they're like, ऐसा लगता है कि आप कर रहे हो ना, तो हम भी कर सकते हैं. That, I think through social media, that positive message, like when she speaks about something and somebody out there can be like, wow, Preeti can do it, so I can do it too. So that, I think through social media is a great thing.
And you, Mr. Moose, you come from a completely non-film background, and was it like really tough breaking into the? See, what is your own? Though I think the nepotism debate is completely baseless, it's an advantage. Now, if you fight that, you have to fight it all your life. So you just learn to live with it and accept it. But having said that, you know, you started the reality. Was it like very challenging for you?
I feel I just initially went with the flow. I said I would want a bike on a reality show. I went on roadies. Luckily, MTV signed me. I was with them for 5 years. And whatever experience I had being a video jockey with them was over there only. Never thought I'll branch into acting. Then one day somebody told me that try taking workshops. I think you'll enjoy this craft. And I think ever since I was just obsessed with the fact that इसके लिए मेहनत लगती है और ये काफ़ी enjoyable process है. It's not कि आप कैमरे पे आके 2-3 लाइन बोल के हो गया. To actually make your character believable and convincing for the people who are watching it is a craft that you have to work towards, and that fascinated me. And I think ever since I took my first workshop, मैं obsessed हो गया था.
When we talk about rejection, she talked about audition. Obviously, with girls, it's different. Boys have a different casting process going on. But my point is, you get exposed to a lot of almost like mental violation, you know, when someone says nasty things to you, or, you know, obviously you don't have access, you don't have the numbers, you don't have PRs, you don't have. So how do you, like, does that like, oh, I'm never going to get an audition or meeting with this director or that director? Does it sort of like make you, and what does it do to all of your mental health?
I think when I started off, Neha Dhupia really helped me branch into the fiction space, because I didn't know anybody from the fiction space, and she made me meet Karan for the first time. And touch wood, I've only had great experiences with everybody who I've worked with. I'm sure there are people out there who have had it the tough way, but luckily I've had it like great. I've met great people, I've worked with great people. Of course, rejections are a part of it. बहुत बुरा लगता है, because आपके हिसाब से आप हर audition सही करते हो.
What is the best and the worst thing that has been told to you?
I've got the part. That's probably the best thing. Worst thing I often face this because I'm a big guy. right? आप इस रोल के लिए बहुत बड़े हो. मैं क्या करूँ अभी? मैं क्या करूँ? How do I go? Like, I feel a lot of, especially in India, this is a problem because I have friends who are working in Hollywood right now. Over there, it's very accepting of how you look. Like, they'll change probably the character. If you're doing a good job in the audition, they'll probably be like, अच्छा वो बंदा white boy ने Asian हो जाएगा because you've done a good job. Like, their horizon is bigger over there. I feel यहाँ पर अगर है कि we need a tall muscular guy, तो tall muscular guy ही चाहिए. I'm very happy with the fact that in खो गए हम कहाँ, they took Adarsh Gaurav as a gym trainer. And I love the fact that India is also going towards a route where they're accepting people as characters, not stereotyping them because of how they look. I think वो थोड़ा मैंने काफ़ी face किया.
I think OTT has also helped to add diversity and inclusivity more than anything else.
It's a very private watching, no? Like in theatres, when you have a very public space, people tend to get a bit jittered about that. But when at home, people tend to be a bit more accepting. They can privately watch it and be like, okay, I can make peace with it.
Yeah. You tell me, this question is to both of you. You all have been at the receiving, I mean, you've seen very adult behavior. You've been child stars. So have you all been exposed to things you all should not have been exposed to as, like say for example, very simple thing, light man abusing. Somebody abusing, they say, oh shit, this thing. You know, were there any, were you all, I mean your dad was an actor, so I'm sure you were, obviously your mom came with you, I've seen you on the sets of Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gham, your mom was there. Because I've spoken to other child actors like Fatima Sana Sheikh and all, and they said they were exposed to certain kind of behavior which was like she fell off a horse and people said ठीक है चलो there was no अच्छा इसको कुछ problem हुआ है. So was there any kind of as a child, like did you all grow up too fast?
I have to give credit to my parents first because my mom used to accompany me on sets and she was always there for me, but she never interfered when it came to the creative part of it. She let me be with the director and figure everything out, but the rest of it she was my mom. So she was that, and she was more than my mom, she's my best friend. Even now I'm very close to my family. I'm an only child. I'm very, very close, like they're my best friends. So she was very aware of the fact, they both have really protected me in whatever capacity they could. And in terms of me, I would say I want to thank everybody I've worked with because they were very mindful of kids being around them. Like even if the entire set were adults, and genuinely the directors and the people who are working with me, the co-actors, they were very mindful. In fact, they would, there's so many advices that I've gotten, there's so many lessons that I've gotten from senior actors who are like, hey, sunscreen lagana varna tan ho jayega. Like stuff like that, even from the basics to like your acting, you know, they've been very nice to me, and whoever wasn't nice to me, they were a lesson in my life. And it's fine because growing up fast, that's not a thing that I feel bad about. I'm happy about it because there's some situations that people face probably in their 20s that I have understood a little while ago, and I've mentally prepared myself for the worst and the best. So that has actually helped me become independent, take my own decisions. That has really helped me. Being in that atmosphere, working atmosphere, the clarity of thought or being clear about what I want in life has come much earlier in life. So I'm very happy about that.
So for me, I think it was a great advantage to start off so early in life. And like you said, my dad was a working actor back then and I was always on set. And I think in my time, there were hardly 4-5 child actors. There was me, there was Parzan, there were just a few handfuls. So we were always doing work. But I remember there was a point in life where I felt that I don't want to do this. Like I just want to be at home, play, study, and just be away from, because back then we used to travel from Bandra to Mahalakshmi by train, go for auditions after school, come back. So there was a slight moment where I felt that, and I remember telling my parents also, and they were very supportive about it. They were like, whatever you want. Because that time I think the rate of getting work was way higher. Because like I said, there were only few of us. And like she said, like even I was blessed with so many senior actors in life. Like I remember the late Amresh Puri telling me that, telling my parents that, you know, after this film, like, stop now, you know, like, let him be a proper teenager, let him grow up if he wants to be a hero, don't expose him. Even Bachchan sir said the same thing, like, these were repetitive, good, protective people who were coming out. And there was nothing like overstraining and all of that. I think now it's become a big thing, but back then, even you know how the sets used to work. There was no time limit and all. I remember I had done this mythological serial with Ravi Chopra sir called Vishnu Puran. I was 5. I think that was one of the first gigs. I was tied to a tree, like it was, and I had to japo something, Om Namah Shivaya. There was a whole pyre of fire around me back then, like, which was that distance. So there was no like, arey usko sama. Of course there was that safety thing, but not how it would be now. Now possibly you would put a body double and do that. But back in the day, nobody cared so much about these things, and somehow it was a happy journey which just passed. You know, so I don't think so it was a disadvantage. I didn't feel that. In fact, I felt even more charged up when I went back to set, because I knew, okay, this is something I'm familiar with. Of course, the process is faster now, but it felt like coming back home, to be very honest. So I don't think so I lost my childhood and all. I am in fact grateful that, and Imtiaz Ali sir told me this, you know, he said that, Jibraan, you don't know what you've done, but when you go back on set as an adult, it will all come back to you, and that time you'll be grateful for what you've done. And that time it didn't resonate, but when I went to set, and I swear to God, guys, first day of shoot, I felt that. Nobody clapped for my first shot. Pashmina was shooting, everyone clapped for her. So I went to my director, I said, sir, kya ghatiya shot diya kya? So he's like, no, why, what happened? So I said, sir, nobody clapped for me, yaar. He's like, you ass, you have done this, you are possibly more senior than them. And I was like, okay, chalo, some validation on day one. So this is how it is, sir, you know, it's not like something is taken away.
Also, like the things that you pick up on set, it's so beautiful, because as a child, your instinct is to just learn, right? Just grab whatever is coming. So, like good things like on set, when I was a child actor, the director would say, "Aap sirf actor nahi ho, aap sab kuch seekho." So be on set when it's not even your shot. So that, because I was there, my love for filmmaking just grew. Even talking about spirituality, I did a mytho show which was connected to Shivji, and I'm the biggest bhakt. Like I keep saying Shivji has my back. So I believe in Shivji so much. So that comes from my experience being on set, because I played Parvati. So all of these characters have taught me so much and has made me mentally so strong. That's why I could go to a Khatron Ke Khiladi at 18 and perform my level best.
But that's insane. No, what were you doing at? Don't they? Like 18 is a child. What were you doing at Khatron? तुमने protect किया? How was she?
No, she was actually in like top 8. She did a very good job.
With stunts, na?
Yeah, she did a very good job. I was surprised. You know, I was like this.
He would cry every time I would do my stunt.
The moment I met her, she gave me my younger sister vibe. Okay, I was like, तेरे को बचा के रहेंगे, कुछ नहीं होने देंगे. And every time she went for a stunt which was physically challenging, obviously, I used to be like, yaar, I hope I can take this away from her, because I just want her to be okay. I don't want her to get hurt. But the fact that she was like giving all the adults a run for their money, and like literally, because every episode was money, right? So she was like outperforming all the fittest people, जिनको मतलब सालों भर का experience हो रखा है reality shows का. She was like killing it, and that's why I thought that her parents have raised a very brave child, because her dad was there. What a fantastic human being, and the way he used to just let her go and be like, live your life.
Yeah,
I loved that.
So important.
Because he wasn't allowed on set, so he would be back at the hotel and he would wait for us to come back, and he was just praying to God that I come back without any major injuries. But thankfully I had people like himself who would hold my hand and walk on set, and he would like literally had tears in his eyes when I would perform, and he was so protective. I remember there was one stunt, he was like, "Tu ye jeet jayegi na? So I'll gift you something." And I remember I won that stunt, and he sat in the bus and I was covered with like insects and I don't know, slime, whatever, smelling disgusting. So I was sitting right beside him, and he booked, like he customized a shoe for me, and I still wear them. It makes me feel so happy.
Good boy. So this Braun has got some heart also.
Some heart? He's all heart. He's all heart. He's all heart. I swear he's one of the sweetest, most kindest person. He's very nice. Just so sweet.
Acha, now don't praise him too much.
He's cheeks fast.
और बोलो.
Arey, हाँ. See, so cute.
He's turned all red, huh?
Girls are also getting happy there.
Preeti, you, how much you identify with your character?
In school I would straight up go to the teacher and be like, he's परेशान कर रहा है मुझे. I would straight up go to the principal, परेशान कर रहा है मुझे. उसको principal के पास लेके चली जाती थी. I was very gutsy. As a kid I was very gutsy. I used to head on, there used to be a bunch of people in school who didn't like me. And I would head on, get with them, and yeah, I was in the council, I would do that. But I think as an adult, I have become a bit reserved and I don't take up these challenges anymore. But that's also a part of unbecoming. I've spent some time being reserved, so now I'm slowly bouncing back into understanding what, like without even rebelling, if you can, you know, make peace with life, if you can get around your things, then it's okay. But I'm coming to realize it's important to raise your voice. Wherever you have the platform, wherever you have the power, it's important to raise your voice. So somewhere similar to my character, but also.
Yeah, like I'm really keen to know, like what happened to you after doing this character, like pre and post. Was there like a difference?
That self-acceptance was there. I think I would say before the film, you can enter the project with a lot of inhibitions about yourself. And a lot of wonderful things happened on set because we were not allowed to see ourselves on monitor. And my director she had a very positive feedback system. If you give a shot and it's not a good shot, she'll not say yaar kharab kar diya, kuch jadoo karke dikha de. Aisa nahi hota tha. She would that's the worst. Yeah, like kuch jadoo kar do. Kuch jadoo kar do. No, that wasn't the case. But she would tell me, that's good. Can we try something? So the first response is.
So you were protected on set.
Yeah, that thing is important. And I also know the fact that I was protected. It's not going to be the case in other sets. Yeah. But if I can bring this trait from the set and pass it on to the other sets I go to, if you can set that language. Right now I know I'm quite at the early stages of it. For me to have that command on set will take some time. For me to have that experience will take some time. But in that process, if I can bring this, you know, these certain gestures on set which impact a lot. Like if you see, nobody was yelling on our set. Nobody, like when you said, like if someone who's fixing the light is abusing each other, as actors you will get insecure. You will be like, if I don't perform well, somebody is going to yell at me. That impacts a lot. And I'm a very like observer. Like I absorb these things a lot. So if there's no calm around me, it will affect me. So what I learned from this set is that you can have a very organized chain of commands, and nobody interferes with that. Like even Richa Chadda, Ali Fazal, they did not come and talk to us on set because that would distract us. So any communication they had, it would always route through my director Shuchi. Only Shuchi would communicate with me. So,
but ऐसा नहीं होता regular sets पे. बहुत कम.
I know.
You are very lucky. बहुत कम होता है.
There's sudden changes that happen on the schedule. No, I'm grateful that on your first experience you didn't have anything. But I used to also be like her, like that, you know, absorbing energy. अगर काम है तो I'll be calm. Or if there's one person also yelling or one person is feeling bad, so I would absorb that energy. But I've realized that not every set is like that. Not every set will be as calm or like you want it to be. So it's just important to cut the noise out and just director and you. I think with the director, if you have a camaraderie or like just nice bandwidth, you understand each other. If that's, with me at least, it's that. If I have a nice connection with the director that she's understanding me or he's understanding me and I'm understanding them, then I'm okay. Then I don't care what's happening where, I just cut that out. So, because it's important. Sadly, I mean, I wish that every set was like this, but sadly it doesn't happen. And that's life, what to do.
Who's been your favorite director? It need not be somebody who you worked with, but the lesson that you've learned from that day. Is there some sort of piece of advice that you've got from a director? Like he said, you know, Imtiaz said something will come back to you, or everything got rooted through her director. Is there something that a director has told you which has stayed with you?
Mr. Karan Johar himself told me that if you look at the bigger picture, and if you look at a show as a show, not like मेरा कितना काम है या फिर मैं कितना दिखाई दे रहा हूँ. If you look at a project as कि ये show चलना चाहिए, film चलनी चाहिए, that's a better approach towards looking at your character also. Because if you start working towards one goal of making the show or a film do well, then your performance is already enhanced overall. काफ़ी लोग आजकल क्या करते हैं कि मेरा कितना काम है, मेरे कितने डायलॉग है, मेरा कितना ये है. उसके अंदर ही ना उसके अंदर फंस जाते हैं. I feel in Call Me Bay, obviously Ananya was the main person, right? In Karma Calling, it was Namrata and Ravina ma'am who were leading the show. But I just felt like I can contribute to the show by doing a good job as Ahan and Prince. और मुझे शो चलाना है. मुझे ये नहीं देखना कि मेरा कितना, अगर शो चल गया तो सबका बेनिफिट होने वाला है. And I think Karan told me this, that if you work as a family towards one goal, then it's better for everybody.
But I think that's what happened with Jibraan. His was not the lead role, but everybody came out of the theatres talking about him. So that was very good.
No, I actually told Jibraan that the way he is on camera is very comforting. It's very warm. Also, he dances beautifully. And because he does. And because he's had so much experience as a child actor, I think वो comfort दिखता है इसका. And I told him that I loved him in the film.
Yes, ma'am.
I will take it from him because what he said is
नहीं,
really
अलग बोलना
beautiful.
पड़ेगा.
नहीं. ठीक है, I'll say two things now. But what you said is really beautiful because it's very difficult to become a team player in films, and films only work because of team playing. So I'll talk about Dilip Shankar sir, who's my casting director of the film, and he's a great mentor, and everything that he has told me since the beginning till now keeps ringing in my head. So beginning of this film, when I was preparing for the role, I was really nervous. I was like, okay, I've gotten the role of the protagonist. I have so much to do. There's so much pressure. What if I don't, what if midway in the shoot I just start, I just lose the plot. What will happen then? So he said, there's a Japanese saying that if you make a necklace with all beads of the necklace being very beautiful, then it'll be a good necklace, but a boring necklace because all the beads are same. You don't have anything else to look at it. But if you make a necklace with some beautiful beads, some okay beads, some ugly beads, some different beads, then it'll be an interesting piece to look at. So, joining what he said, joining the dots, it's very important to be a team player because that whole thing adds to a beautiful thing. And with respect to my performance, there'll be some days I'll perform really well and some days it may not be the best, and sometimes whatever even comes out in the film, particular scenes might not be the greatest scenes, but if you make all the scenes perfect, it'll be a very monotonous watch. So let the imperfections be, it'll end up being a very beautiful thing. That really helped take a lot of pressure off my chest.
So how many takes was there, like a moment, like you mentioned good bad days, so was there a moment?
Thanks for asking that question because मैंने सुना था, I think 2-3 ads जो उससे पहले किए थे, we heard this thing, oh wow, you're a one-take actor, एक take में you did it. So I entered the set with that thing that you have to get it right in the first or second take only. If you're doing it more, it's wrong. You're a bad actor. So Shuchi's method is that we need to at least, I'm kidding, but we went around 14 takes or 15 takes for a yeah. That's a lot. I mean, Richard should. And the beauty about that was, it's not a bad take. It's not the reason why we are taking another take. She was adding layers to that. So maybe it's very nice that in the first shot, I'm not clear about the scene, but by the time I'm at the 6th or the 7th shot, I'm understanding the character in that process, which is a big deal for an indie film to invest that much of time in getting it right.
पर कभी दिमाग खराब हुआ? ये कर तो रही हूँ मैं, हो क्यों नहीं रहा है?
हाँ, हो सकता है.
Bro, मेरा दिमाग खराब हुआ है when the opposite person is not getting it, and I have to keep doing it again and again and again. I'm like, finish. How much? I can't cry so much now. I'm done. You know, even in workshop.
Crying scenes, I feel.
And uska POV, tera POV, you're like, guys, come on, like get it now. That is what is, I think, tougher.
And it gets difficult because if you're doing a lot of takes, it gets rehearsed. So by the 13th take, you are not anticipating anymore.
But this is what a senior actor, I won't name, told us कि ये सब चापलूसी है क्योंकि डिजिटल में होता है, हमारे ज़माने में इतना ही फीट है. And he told me, trust me, my first, second, third take is the best. This director has made me do 21 takes. Editing pe he has used the first take.
Oh.
But it was interesting to see his point of view. He says, see, the director is the boss. If he tells me to do 40 takes, I'll do 40 takes. But I want to tell him, bhaiye, this second take is good, but you want me to do 40 takes because of ego or because, like you said, it adds layer. I'll do it. Rishikesh Mukherjee, every time the actor, whether it's Amit ji or Rekha, because Rekha ji herself has told कि if you asked him for one more take, he'll say, "Tum paisa bharega ye take ke liye." So like it's legendary.
But this I've seen with Mr. Bachchan. He gets it in one take. He knows his thing. He knows it. But honestly,
yeah, you've been AD also.
Yeah, like as an AD, when I was only mesmerized by that man. Y'all in life, if y'all have to learn, just go on a set with him. Just go on a set with him. He's what an actor is. He's prepared, dhaad karke. He still reads his script in Devanagari. We had to type it and give it to him, like, so no English, Devanagari. And see, I'm relatively very new, but even I have that instinct that the first 2-3 takes now, you're so vulnerable, and your instinct, that gut what comes now, that is only there. After that, it's just, you're replaying it and you know what she's going to say. You know, you don't get to improvise so much.
Or the silences in the middle of the conversation that naturally come, that I've realized that happens quite a lot. In the first couple of takes, there are a lot of things that just naturally happen, the nuances just add up. And then when you have to pinpoint, somebody says ki ye wapas karo, that just becomes...
यहाँ पर 2 beat और
that stage, Anushka, that look that you gave, वो वापस करो, मत लो,
वो ज़्यादा हो गया, थोड़ा कम.
Then it becomes calculated. So that authenticity kind of.
And sir, if you've seen Govinda, biggest example of improvisation, David Dhawan and him, they don't have lines. It's just playing with each other. They just understand a scene, and we still watch the films. How many years? 20, 25 years later.
But Govinda is of course an exception to all of that. Of course, you have to wait 8 hours for him to show up, but that's a different story.
2-3 days also. Yeah. Switzerland, I just saw something on Instagram.
Is there an actor who, like, before I come to a dream role, is there an actor who's left an lasting impression on your life? And is there something that you've taken away from that actor?
Ranbir Kapoor.
Like what? What about Ranbir?
I think the fact that he's so easy with the most complex emotions in the world. In Ae Dil Hai Mushkil, he's going through rejection, he's in denial, and the ease with he's playing the character is amazing. Like, I was mind blown when I saw the film. Like, ये इतनी आसानी से इतना कुछ बोल रहा है, और it's just comforting for the audience to watch. Like, they can relate to him, and all those emotions probably you have never felt in your life. Because I was very young when I saw it. असल पर मुझे पता है कि तेरे को क्या लग रहा है. I think I've always admired him and wanted to be an actor like him.
Shah Rukh sir, because the way he is, the journey that I've seen, like he's talked about his journey, he also comes from a TV background, and the entire struggle that he has had, it's just very, you can relate to him even though he's such a big star, if that makes sense. Like, he's such a big human being, like he's done it all, but still whenever I hear his interviews or I see him do any piece of work, it's just, I don't know, it makes me feel comfort. And talking about acting, what I like about him is he takes any role and makes it his own. That is what I like about him. So definitely Shah Rukh sir. And Ranbir Kapoor has been that one inspiration who's like, he's that evergreen actor, forever favorite. That definitely Ranbir Kapoor for sure.
I really like Julie Delphi in Before's trilogy. I feel like she was just a natural and a responder. There is this thing, like, you're just living in the moment, but when acting comes into picture, you do something with your face, you do something with your muscles, which is just a notch extra, just a little extra from real life, which I could see on her face. And it's very difficult for me to pinpoint one actor and look at their entire trajectory, but certain performances.
Closer home, since we're talking about Indian films.
Kani is amazing.
Actually, I want to ask you, like, when you work with Kani, she's the most ordinary person in the room. But when she comes on screen, she's magical. What happens? Like, that is like insane. Like, I saw 2 films of hers back to back, All We Imagine Is Light and then Girls Will Be Girls. She's just insane, and she does it like there is not even, somebody spoke about ease. That is ease, my goodness.
I think it comes with moldability as a performer. Like, for me, she's probably the most interesting person in the room because she's just laughing. She's just enjoying her life, and even when we are not rolling, you will watch her in a completely different energy. She's biting around, laughing, cracking a joke, then also suddenly talking about something very serious, talking about her acting training in France. But when you say action, she'll immediately get into the physicality of the...
It's crazy. I'm just astounded with what she does. I'm just astounded.
And again, she's very detached from her, acting success. She's very, she will keep that away. Even when you're talking to her, she'll not bring that baggage with her and be like, I can completely nail this scene right now, but she'll not come with that baggage. She'll come down to your level. I was doing it for the first time, so she was helping me, she was helping match my energy to do all the scenes.
Like when she won her first Filmfare award, like normally she would, she didn't know the protocol or whatever. She said, what do I wear? So I was like, huh? So she says, yeah, because I'm coming from some, and it was just so refreshing. Like, she says, no, I don't have, so I'm staying at a friend's house. So what time am I supposed to read? So we had an afternoon schedule. So, it's in the afternoon, and it was just, I mean, she's
no makeup,
no digital team.
Amitabh Bachchan, no one like him, like epitome. He's the king. He's the king. Like I've seen him, that tear falling, suddenly switch to laughing, dancing. Like in Brahmastra, there was this scene in that Deva Deva song where he goes and hugs him, and he realizes that he can use his powers, and he just has this. I can't. Yeah, I was crying like behind the scene, and Anne was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "It's so amazing." Yeah, but even Ranbir and of course Shah Rukh Khan, he's an improvisation king. Even Govinda, like I said, guys, they just माहौल बना के कुछ भी खुद के dialogues हो रहे हैं. There are like 3-4 variations, fat, and that's it. It's done. So you just get to learn like constantly. Like being an AD also, I think people have really like reduced it. Like, अरे AD है. But honestly speaking, being an AD on set, I have learned what I could not learn in a film school. No offense to people who are going, but for me that was my school. And yeah, and a film like Brahmastra, like it was a mammoth, and there were like 5 of us, 5 ADs. So we had load from every department, and it was, you just respected the whole process of filmmaking, like you said. I also, after that, I started looking at films differently. I wasn't bashing films, I wasn't like, kya bana hai yaar? Like, nahi yaar, mehnat se 200-300 लोगों का unit लगता है. Everyone is putting in.
That. I can never say anything bad about any film. Because हमने कितनी मेहनत लगती है, and okay, मेहनत को भी आप साइड में रख दो, the hope, like that, even the light man who is probably frustrated.
Makes a film कि हम लोग गंदी फिल्म बना रहे हैं, सब लोग अच्छी फिल्म बना रहे हैं.
हाँ, nobody. The intent is to make people happy, make people feel something. So it's just difficult when a film doesn't do well. I never can say कि यार क्या बना है. वो तो like I cannot. I'm like, when people say it, I'm like, you don't know how many people have their hopes up. And
having said that, some films are difficult to watch. Yeah. But I'm not saying anything bad about it. Yeah. They are difficult.
Like you all spoke about auditions and all that. Is there like one audition which you were you don't have to name the film, but one audition which you thought you had completely cracked it, but you lost out, and then you saw those posters, and then you said, shit, I would have done a better job. Like that, was there anything?
I think every time you give an audition, and I can talk on behalf of everybody who gives auditions, आपको लगता है कि आपने कर ही दिया. आपको लगता है कि कमाल है. Like I have a word with my mom every time I give an audition. कैसा गया बेटा? मजा आया. हो जाएगा. हो जाना चाहिए. कैसा गया ना? हर बार अच्छा ही होता है. And the feeling, of course, you have hope, right? After every audition, you're like, I hope that this one works out. And when it doesn't, and after a few months, you see the poster of it, I'm like, तो हुआ है, काफी बार हुआ है.
Close. Tell us something more revealing. Like, do you think you were better than the actor whose poster you saw? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
तो फिर होता भी है जब when the film doesn't work or like मुझे लिया होता तो फिर शायद कुछ और हो गया होता.
Yes.
I had auditioned for Chillar Party.
Yeah.
What a film!
Yeah, what a film! And they had come to my school, and they just no, they're team members. I had not seen Mukesh sir back then. Also, I was too young to even remember who had come. So they let all these kids come, and they would do improv in the sense कि पहले 2 लोग आएंगे, and then they'll cut one person and send another person into the scene. So I remember I really enjoyed what was happening. I just did some Punjabi auntie who said tandrak and pani de rahi thi aise. So I did something I was enjoying as a kid, and they really liked it, and they're like, you're really good, you should come. So they told my mom that please send her to Bombay, we want to test her further. But I couldn't go because I was like, yeah, we were a bit apprehensive about going to Bombay back then. But I have no regrets how the film turned out. It's an exceptional film and would have been fun to be on a set. Yeah.
Yes, miss?
There's so many auditions that I think about that have had an impact.
But has it broken your heart giving a...
I think every single time I'm too emotionally invested in my career. I feel I love my job. I wake up thinking about it. I go to sleep thinking about it. I'm not detached like you are. I wish I was. Actually, I don't wish I was, in fact. I just love doing what I do, and I've been doing it for so long. So this is all I think about. So even if it's a brand shoot, it's something very basic, I will put my heart and soul into it, and if I don't get it, I feel really sad. And like he said, when वो show नहीं चलता है तो लगता है कि अरे मुझे ले लेना चाहिए था.
Sir, I have had more rejections than appreciation. I'm one film old, so I have only lost out on a lot of work in life. So I am very detached from not getting it. Like I know, okay, fine, nahi hua, something else. Yes, 1-2 projects, of course you feel like, arey, I could have smashed it. Because somewhere I think as an actor, you need to know your reality as well. If you're good enough, you're bad, or whatever. Like you just need to know where you stand. So yeah, those days are there, but I'm very detached to this because our profession is more about rejection than appreciation. So you mentally just, and you've been doing it for so long now. You've been doing it for so long, so it doesn't move you. You just feel that, yaar, I wish there were more opportunities to showcase the talent before it's possibly too late, you know. And I know you'll turn around and say it's never too late and all of that. But
like another senior actor said, we are paid not for acting, but for waiting.
But no, sir, like this has to be a thing, even for everyone who's trying to come into the industry. I tell everyone, be prepared for rejection, man. Yeah. You can't sit on this high horse that mujhe milne wala, and then suddenly when that bubble bursts, it's very hard in our industry. You have to be mentally prepared. It's not your physicality. If you're mentally strong, inshallah, you will make it. But just be prepared for that opportunity.
But you know, I mean, this is a personal feeling, like this huge nepotism debate and all of that. But honestly, I'm not seeing any great actors coming out of the business. Everybody seems to be like an Instagram sensation. I think the last big thing we saw was, say, Ranveer Singh and Ranveer Kapoor about 10-12 years ago. So, and of course Alia. I mean, what I mean is, what do you think is the reason? Is it social media? Is it our attention span? Is it because of OTT? People have got much more access to world cinema, scene cinema. What is it that we don't have that wow, that OMG, what a star, what an actor? You know, what do you think could be the reason movies are not doing well? And
I think where Shah Rukh Khan sir said that I'm the last of the stars, I think I believe in that because he became Shah Rukh Khan the king when there was no social media, right? You were always curious ki ab kya kar raha hoga? Oh, I saw Shah Rukh Khan over there. Now it's very easy for everybody to like go on social media, acha, khana kha raha hai, khana bana raha hai, bahar ja raha hai. So you have access to the world right now on your phone. So you're never curious, or like even if there's a film release, they're like, OTT पे आके देख लेंगे. There's no like excitement कि Friday आ गया, जाके देख के आते हैं. पहले होता था. So I think social media has taken a toll over the industry. Also like people have become too aware. They know कि दुनिया में क्या चल रहा है. They know कि अच्छा content क्या है, खराब content क्या है. And now even though people are like don't compare Hollywood and Bollywood, the comparison will be made because they both are streamed on the same platform and people have access to everything. So they'll be like, हमारे तो इतना बढ़िया बना रहे हैं, ये इतना mediocre क्यों हो रहा है?
Dude, we are having debates in our own country now. Yeah. That's screwed up. Like that shouldn't be happening.
Like you see Malayalam cinema.
Yeah, that shouldn't be happening.
There are two things. One is the inorganics and the organics is a separate thing. The inorganic is that when someone is getting launched, there's already so much buzz about them. There is so many expectations they have to fill in. Like there's an image out there of this person, and when you then watch their film, it's difficult for an audience to break that image and watch them as an actor. Before becoming an actor, they're becoming a personality.
Yeah, they're already stars.
They're already stars, and the main thing about an actor is that you don't have one personality. You have multiple. You are that moldable. So I feel like that's something very inorganic that we try to control constantly. I don't know who's controlling, but everyone who builds this personality around, they are trying to project certain image of them. So then the film can't really compete with that. The film is a completely different image. It can't compete with what you've already built. And organically, it's right, our population is massive, and we are slowly heading towards a time where it's difficult for one thing to become the prime. Yeah. There's an excess in everything. There's an excess in the films that is coming out because of ease of technology. There's more diversity for people to approach roles now because of social media, because of OTT. So it's difficult for anyone to stand out. A normal person in a day is consuming a lot. For them to strike, हमारा attention span भी 15 सेकंड का हो गया ना अब तो हमारा attention एक इंसान पे जाएगा कैसे? So there are a lot of factors. I mean, you can't have a good thing so fast. You need to give it time. पहले मुगले आज़म बनते कितना time बन गया?
Who will spend 12 years on a movie today?
Exactly. But an individual director, at least in that indie space, I can say they spend 8 years of their life. I'm talking to a person who's making his animated feature film. He's saying, okay, now I'm 1.5 years away from releasing it, but I've been here with it for 4 years. Wow. So if you can't give that much time, how will you expect something good to?
Also 5 years.
Yeah, but Bahubali pre-prod, they all shifted to Hyderabad, so I don't think
Tumbad, as an example.
Tumbad?
Tumbad.
12 years. 12 years it took to make that film.
But Tumbad was for other reasons also. Very many directors changed hands and all. Yes, Miss Sen?
I feel there are a lot of factors. If we pinpoint one problem, I don't think that's the solution. I feel attention span, we can talk about, a lot of other factors as well. But my point would be, without saying it, but there is sort of one type of an image that, okay, this is how a person should look, and then they are a heroine, or this is how an actor should be, then this is how it should be. I feel there's too much similar energy, similar vibe, similar looking, where it's become like that. I feel the whole authenticity of people, like you were just talking about those times when people would just have their messy hair and just little bit of makeup and just be like that, like a kajol or like that. Just chashma, exactly. So there was so much diversity. I feel even though we say that, oh, there's so much diversity, but there's still, I feel there's lack of authenticity. And I refuse to believe the fact that agar aap achhe actor nahi ho, to aap nahi chaloge. I feel audience is very loving and warm like that. That if you're a good actor, no matter what your background is, where you come from, they will accept you. So when it comes to talking about nepotism, and we've been talking about it, it's been a conversation for a very long time. I think I don't have a problem with nepotism, or I don't have a problem with them. I have a problem when there's lack of opportunities.
I was about to say that.
Yes. So it's about
we want somebody to believe in us also.
Yes.
कि हम भी कर सकते हैं.
Like sir, I'll tell you very small. My request is आप मेरे को सिर्फ audition दे दो, and आप fair basis पे let's see who gets the role. That is what, and it's happening. But I feel the ratio should go up a little bit. So we have more people from different backgrounds. Like Preeti and I are so different from each other. But if we see different films, different projects, it'll be just much more interesting to see that. So I would like to have more opportunities, not only for myself, but for people who have dreams and who want to come into this industry.
Sir, मेरा कोई answer नहीं है. To be very honest, I am still trying to crack why is this happening. Why is there nothing standing out? Why is there no wow factor? I can't talk personally from my point of view because it's a wholesome thing. But everything of all of them is a whole amalgamation. But I don't have a particular answer. I feel it's just how it is now. Like, you really just need to keep working, and inshallah maybe we'll also just strike and we won't have the last of the stars, we can possibly work hard.
Also, I think we are too present. Like, we can only talk about now, but 10 years down the line, how people of that time will see us, it's different. Maybe they'll have stars for us. They will have kids at this time when you.
There is too much to consume also.
Obviously.
So recently I was somewhere and they were discussing, these producers, where it's come second viewing. So basically you're watching an OTT thing, but you're also on your phone. So your content, what is it called? Second watching.
Yeah, so
It's a-
your content
it's a
has to be
term.
like
There's a new
friendly,
term
yeah.
which has been.
कि phone use करते करते कोई show चला रहा है तो फिर बढ़िया है.
Your content has to be that level where you're on your phone also and you're enjoying it also.
And now also a lot of people have become all about virality. Like even content wise, they're like, oh, this might work really well, and it's really sad because even though their intent is just making people watch their film कि अच्छा ये 3 सेकंड का ये देख लेंगे तो शायद हमारी film देख लेंगे. But because of that, maybe we're lacking creative side or something we're lacking. So I feel it's a lot of factors that are affecting our project. But I refuse to believe that हम प्यार नहीं मिल सकता है. Like come on, we're India. We're all about love. We're all about
और हम बहुत सारे हैं.
हाँ.
प्यार तो मिल सकता है हमको. सबके लिए बहुत प्यार है.
Of course, बहुत सारा प्यार.
Honestly speaking, you've been here for so many years. You're so senior. You've seen. What would be your take on this? Like, why is it? Is it because everyone is just average, you feel? What is the problem?
See, like OTT really exposed us to a whole, like we were seeing Game of Thrones. Yeah.
Which every episode was a film.
So then anything less than that made it, and also like I said, the film viewing experience. The price of the popcorn is more than the price of the ticket. How are you going to spend 2,000 rupees? It's an event. You know, the entire process. And honestly, I think attention spans and everything is, our brains are fried. They're overstimulated. During the OTT awards, I checked once, my screen time was 17 hours. What? I'm watching 7 hours of a show before the jury meetings. I'm watching 7 hours. So I'm thinking, oh my God, 7 hours of this. And now I have yet 10 more series to watch.
Also, I think it's changing constantly what somebody wants. Like some months this is authenticity or like something. Like even if you go with fashion trends, one thing is trending and then it just changes. So
like I don't think anybody's interested. Like we would look forward to see, wow, okay, Kajol signed a film. I'm going to see that movie because I don't have access to Kajol as a viewer. I remember a senior star, Mumtaz, had once told me, she says, we were not even seen at hotels. Today I go to Shiv Sagar, somebody's eating pav bhaji. She said we were only seen at premieres. We should dress up. It was an event, or if it's a Filmfare award night, we are going to dress up and we are going to come. I am seeing somebody at a cafe coffee day. I am seeing somebody. So it's just this thing. But anyway, drawing the conversation back to. So what are your next projects? Like what is it that you're excited about? Are you reading something? And what is it that you want to do? Or is it like I don't have any choices? Whatever is offered to me, I'll do it.
I'm at that right now. एक तो opportunity कम मिलती है. जो मिलती है वो you have to be very tactful कि I hope that this one lands.
I like his honesty. Yeah. I love it. He's so authentic. That's very good.
नहीं, a lot of people are like मैं पढ़ रहा हूँ देखते नहीं पढ़ रहा हूँ मतलब नहीं आ रही स्क्रिप्ट जितनी ऑडिशन भी बहुत कम आ रहे हैं अभी तो ये हालत है कि that people are not making enough stuff right and they're only banking on people who are already bankable not on the newcomers कि जितना पैसा आ रहा है कम से कम वो तो है ये डाल के और लॉस हो गया तो I feel touchwood I had a great last year where I had a couple of people who believed in me and 2025 also there's one project that I'm waiting for it to get locked तो वो भी मैं wait कर रहा हूँ hopefully हो जाए.
I don't have anything in the pipeline yet but I'm also keeping myself occupied. I'm watching a lot of films, reading books, animating.
So when you talk about animating, how much time in a day, like what do you like? Do you go to studio and do you work on it? What is, yeah, I am very, because I'm so glad she's, like I always tell people you need to have a second career option ready. You should have a plan B ready. So tell me about it. I'm very interested.
I'm missing my classes. I'm sitting here for that and my faculty anyway. But वो देख रहे होंगे शायद. But you do have studios. Like my college provides for a screen, a pen on which you can draw, and you can animate right on the screen. It's a very time-taking and a tedious process, and we have to do it all by ourselves. So you have to write your own script. You have to draw your own frames. And animation.
So do you get a degree for this? Or
Yeah.
is it,
You will. At the end of So in my course, you have to.
So what is this course called? Just animation?
It's called it's a PG diploma in animation cinema. It's offered by Satyajit Ray Film and Television Institute. I'm feeling too seen right now. But there are other courses also. There's cinematography, there's film and writing. So everything is there. I opted for animation, and it's a great. So when I was a kid, I would always, during my exams, I would be like, instead of writing this, if I could just sit and draw, I would enjoy it. And now I'm basically drawing for my exams and I'm not getting to write anything. So I enjoy that. We learn a lot. We sit and observe people. I have a sketchbook in my bag. So if I'm sitting somewhere, it's a great way to, spend your time. You're just there and you watch a crowd. And especially in Bombay, I'm so simulated. I'm like, "Arey yaar, inhone itni achhi saadi pehni hai. I just want to take a picture. I just want to immediately draw her." So that quality is there because of the course. And right now, I'm at that stage where you have to ideate. You have to write a script. You have to draw frames. You have to roughly chart out how the whole thing is going to look, and then you have to eventually start animating it. Ideally, it's a thing that should be done in a team where there are people who get tasks delegated. So even when you're watching something like a Disney production, or if you're watching something like Studio Ghibli production, hundreds of people are there and who draw the same exact thing as the other person sitting next to them, and it's a good team effort that eventually yields something. But I feel like animated films are far superior than live action films. You'll find some of the greatest and the brightest minds working towards. I'm not bragging myself here, but I'm saying some of the greatest minds have contributed to animation. That cinema is working on a separate level, and I'm glad it's like that. You can't. Maybe AI can, hamper with it. It can, if someone puts their brains into AI and asks them to quickly animate something, that can happen. But it's relatively a field which is not tampered with the changing times.
Yes, Miss?
So 2024 was really special for the both of us. I feel all of us here have had our own journeys. And
Hang on. I have to ask you, while I'm talking to you, I have to ask you about your Korean thing. You're starring in it. Tell us about it.
So, thank you. 2 years back, I got this opportunity to work on this project called Asia, and it's a very big film where we have different Asian people just coming in this project, and they all have very interesting characters. It's an action thriller. I'm playing an assassin, so it's very cool. Wow. And it's theatrical. Yes, this is theatrical, and we're still working on it. It's one of those films which is taking a very long time, so I'm really glad because we're really focusing on every single scene, and this is probably the only project that I've been doing for 2 years now. So I'm really happy about it. We're also doing a spin-off series based on that, which is about my character. It's called Crush, and it's really interesting because we all are passionate about the same thing, but we're just different people. Like, they are from Korea and somebody is from Malaysia and different parts of the world. But we're all on set doing the same thing, having the same dream that, oh, people watch this and feel united as Asians, right? So I'm really grateful that I'm getting the opportunity to represent my country, because that's a really huge responsibility.
Guys, we have 2 international stars amongst us because she won a Best Actress award at the Sundance Film Festival. Can you imagine? Well done. I'm so sorry. I should have said this right at the beginning, but I mean, we have a Best Actress Sundance Film Festival with us. More power to you, and fantastic. And there's you going international and all of that. Very well done. Very well done. I mean, Jibraan, of course, we know has a plan B.
I'm going places right now with my films. Yeah, but
Are you reading scripts?
So to be very honest, there's not been much development there. Like Varun said, there's no point saying, "Arey, maine ye padha hai, maine ye sign kiya hai." Honestly speaking, there's nothing happening, which is quite sad also, because after having a debut, this is a very rough patch, because you're like, you've done everything to get that one film, and after that there's just nothing. And with my misfortune, many people have not seen my film, and my film is not on OTT also. So I think that's why there haven't been more calls, there haven't been auditions also, and plus people are not making things as much as they were like in the past year. So it's a rough patch. I'm dealing with it. I have a little business going on. I run a cafe called Grounded It's my own thing.
Oh, don't be so modest. It's a very lucrative, doing very well cafe. All of Bandra goes to Grounded, right?
Like she said, you know, I keep doing something or the other. I write, I try to just do anything. I've started saying that to myself, that I need to be easier on myself, because, you know, like you said, you know, like you're obsessed, you think about it when you're waking up, when you're sleeping. I think I want to be more like you, because it's consuming a lot of my energy. Somewhere it's good to be in love with what you do, but once it becomes crazy obsession, and if something doesn't work out, it just demoralizes you, because you know you're good. So why is there no opportunity? But take it with a pinch of salt, because I'm sure I'm here for bigger and better things. It's going to take time, and I've made peace with that. So yeah, I'm just going with the flow. I'm enjoying the process. I'm getting to chill with you guys and talk to someone so senior. So it'll all come. So just keeping fingers crossed.
But to like add to that, I would like to say, when I say that I'm really like all about my job, thankfully my job is not just acting. I do a lot of other things. So thankfully I have that privilege of being like, okay, if in this space this is going a little slow, like I have made this happen for myself. Like, okay, I come from a Bengali family, so music is something that is really special to us. My mom is doing Visharad in her music, so I've learned music from her. So last year I was like, okay, let's branch out and do something, and thankfully the opportunity also came at the right time, because I've always loved music, but I didn't think that I would do it professionally. And now not only am I doing professionally, but I'm also working with United Nations to work towards the SDG goals for 2030, Sustainable Development Goals. I'm the face and voice for Goal 4, which is education. So I am collaborating with an African American artist and we are collaborating and we are just making music for SDG goals and something like that.
So we have musicians. Varun is a great musician.
Exactly.
And he has a basketball team also.
See, so everybody.
I play professionally also. When I'm not on set, I'm playing professional basketball.
Thankfully, 4 of us are those people who are not just acting, we're doing a lot of things. So even if,
And she has 40 million followers, which is a big deal, guys. Wow.
That is all her bread and butter and jam.
No, because I feel a lot of people think it's very easy. Like, I'm genuinely not bragging, but a lot of people are like, yaar, aise kaise ho gaya? But it's such a big process. Like 7 years I've been doing this.
How long has it been?
7 years. Social media when it wasn't even a thing. So I was a creator when it was not even a job. So I was figuring it out by myself with my help of parents. Yeah, there was no team, there was nobody guiding me.
And I think I know Anushka because she takes it like, ये तो चल रहा है ना, मतलब मेरा घर चल जाएगा इसमें से. I don't have to forcefully, like how I told you don't have to forcefully go and do a project which you're not happy with. You'd rather do a brand that'll give you a bunch of money and like just be relevant on social media ताकि वो जेब बढ़ते रहे. बाकी I'll wait for the right project to happen.
But this is important, sir. Being relevant makes a big, I mean, all said and done, but it makes a big difference. Yeah, social media presence. We live in a time where people
But do you think social media, I mean, this is just an offshoot of what you all said. Does it actually translate into film work?
No, a lot of people have gotten film work because of how big they are on social media.
Like I saw a film which was made with 5 influencers and a leading. Their sum total of was not even 2 days collections of that.
ये कौन सी film है?
I'll tell you after the show.
मुझे पता है किसके बारे में बात कर रहे हो.
So I mean that's why I want to know, do social media having social media numbers translate into movie roles?
I wish, sir, that would have been the thing. Footfalls would have been out of the roof, but it's not.
No, I'm saying you can probably bag a role because you're Instagram famous. Will it work as a film? I don't know.
So you're saying, will a casting director sign you on the basis of your social media?
Yeah, it is the new portfolio also.
It has happened. It has happened.
Bro, do you agree it's the new portfolio? Like how back in the day you used to take it, इसका Instagram दिखाओ, कौन से photos है? You're judged.
So casting directors are not casting you on the basis of your acting.
No, of course there is.
No, even me, everything that I do, even now, I mean, 15 years in the industry, I have to audition for everything.
Oh God, this girl, she says 15 years in the industry and all is giving me goosebumps.
No, I think what I think Varun and me are trying to say is, sir, like it is more like
a factor.
It's like just seeing pictures, you know, कि अच्छा इसका Instagram दिखाओ क्या है photos, because we do upload, you know, our professional photos and all there. Nowadays nobody takes that album के sir देखो ये किया है, all that is gone. So it's more about that way, and I think casting is still done on acting basis. Yeah, come on. That we need to give
because
it to
then
them.
somebody, it's about perception.
Major roles, yeah.
It's about perception. Somebody might think, oh, they are too exposed out there. Then they might want to get somebody who's a fresher, and somebody might think, no, acting is not right. So I feel no matter how famous you are on social media, me as an actor and me as a social media person, two different entities.
And also, like, what show are you like auditioning for? What character are they pitching you for? Like, if there's a character which is important, and they can't screw it up by taking anybody, then they'll have to audition people. But there are some characters who are like fillers कि ये होगा तो हमारे शायद शो को benefit हो जाए, शायद हमारा शो कोई देख ले और तो फिर then it is on social media.
Also, like, you have a personality on social media. Sometimes it coincides with the script, the character's personality. So it's, and also your visibility
like
is
the film
easier
you were
for
talking
people to
about.
approach.
What does it do to your mental health, all of you? Like all this waiting, all this really.
Band बज जाती है. Band बज जाती है. I've had breakdowns because of this. I've cried, but I've always told myself that when I entered, I knew that this will happen. It is my decision, and there's no, like, I've never thought of giving up. I've cried, I've broken down, but I've again gotten up the next day and like, ये तो होना ही है ना. तो keep running the marathon, and it's not a sprint कि फटाफट भाग के खत्म कर दूंगा. भागते रहो जब तक भाग सकते हो.
True. I think talking about sprint, it's very important to know that a lot of people think that they're in a race with each other. I am very much like I am in my own race. I'm the only one running. So I would run slower, but I want to reach my destination. So I would rather be calm.
That's because you're secure.
Exactly, and
There
I love
are
my
many
job.
insecure people also.
There are. Sadly, it is true, but
So how do you all seek therapy, or do you all have a close knit of friends? Because you know therapy is something which we have to normalize. Do you all do any of that?
I've taken therapy, but for me, it's I like to spend time with my family, knowing that this is my reality also, right? Like they made me happy when I had nothing, and now, touch wood, I have a few projects that I've done, or abhi मैं wait कर रहा हूँ for the next one. I still have my family with me. That makes me happy. I play the guitar, I'll play video games, I'll play basketball. I think if I restrict myself to कि मैं यही कर रहा हूँ, तो फिर होगा नहीं. दो तीन चीजें करते रहो और wait करते रहो, audition करते रहो.
Also, there's a reason why we feel so bogged down with waiting, because waiting is also a taboo.
Yeah.
Like, let's take academically, maybe some person wants to take a break here. It's such a taboo that, oh, आपने break लिया था एक साल. So why is that a taboo? Even in acting, why is it like you have to bag one thing after the other? Why is it not कि let an actor wait for a good project to come? Why is it that you just have to?
Wow, this is really well said. Well said.
When you go to parties, they're like क्या कर रहे हो? I'm always like मैं chill कर रहा हूँ. क्योंकि अगर मैं कुछ नहीं कर रहा हूँ तो मैं chill ही कर रहा हूँ. And then people look at you like क्या कुछ मिला नहीं? हाँ, अभी नहीं मिला. मैं या तो जो मिला है वो मुझे करना नहीं है, या तो जो मैं चाहता हूँ वो मुझे मिला नहीं है. तो I think if people normalize the fact that हाँ chill करना भी ठीक है. You've given one good show, two good shows, ठीक है, very good. Now you're waiting for a good one, right? You don't want to rush into anything. I think people are astonished with the fact that ये chill क्यों कर रहा है? क्या हो गया है? कुछ चल नहीं रहा क्या? Like
Actually, that is very true. It's very true. This is like, I mean, linking what you said, waiting is a taboo. Like, मतलब इसके पास काम नहीं है. So very, you know, this mindset. अरे उसने तो 4 पिक्चर साइन करे. That doesn't mean his.
वो परेशान है वो इंसान. वो 4 पिक्चर एक साथ करो. I really wonder how people do multiple projects at once. Don't you?
I want to feel like that one day.
I mean,
4 पिक्चरें साइन तो कराओ.
That's a great problem to have.
Reward yourself, like give yourself some time. We're not supposed to be machines. Abhi to, like, we're not supposed to be like a clothing brand which keeps producing clothes every day after the other. We're supposed to be living in the moment.
She's the self-help guru of the group. So I'm going to call you every time, Preeti, I'm going through a meltdown. I'm definitely going to call you.
Him also.
Now, of course, I have to ask you the usual rapid-fire gossipy questions. My first question to how many of you are single, how many of you are dating? And second question is, what are the do's and don'ts as actors? Like, you know, you almost have, like, you had this breakout moment with, you know, how do you deal with attention from the opposite sex, and how did you deal with being recognized and all of that?
This is difficult because just today morning I got a very nasty message from a person from the opposite sex who saw my film and definitely misunderstood the whole point of the film. And I don't think you'll put it in the...
Can't say it here.
No, you can say it. So, I mean, when you say, I get when you say it's very easy to misunderstand your film.
So someone sent this long threatening message that don't you dare do, in quotes, an adult film after this. And I was like, okay, why do you have so much hatred towards anybody who has consensually done a film? Even if it is I'm not saying my film is an adult film, why do you have so much hate for someone who's done an adult film? And wow, why do you have an opinion about what other people should do in their life? And it was a very long paragraph about his righteousness, that you know, I am this, I have not even looked at अच्छी लड़कियां नहीं करती हैं. तो मुझे लगा ठीक है, भैया को ओपिनियन देना था. Luckily मेरे Instagram private में इनका like nobody has seen him publicly say these things, otherwise he'll immediately like get cancelled by people. But yeah, there are certain opinions. I think attention, I'm very numb to it right now. My like thoda sa poster film came out on
Sundance Best Actress. How can we numb to attention? And you're being extremely modest about it.
But seriously, what?
You won an award.
I was asking him to give a dance, no? Yeah, that's why you're asking me. But I'll tell you again, I'll quote Dilip sir, because he told me success is a very difficult teacher. Like when you fail, you know what you have to do and you have a direction. But when you're successful, when your film wins an award in an international platform, you need to start thinking ki what next should I do? So I think for attention, I'm really like, I don't see it as a good thing yet, because it puts me under a lot of pressure.
Let me simplify it for you. Do boys ask you out?
I thought it was just like, are you single?
Yeah,
And,
there are a
what
few
about-
messages ki मेरे साथ movie देखने चलोगी, which is sweet. Like ये asking आप reply कर दो ना.
Preeti, be more honest. There might be some direct ones also. That's where he's hinting.
Yeah,
No,
I get
but
them
are you
grounded.
seeing somebody? I'm asking you.
He's
directly,
just like,
are you
are you seeing somebody?
Okay.
No.
Anushka,
I'm single.
that's my second part. What are the do's and don'ts all of you follow in a relationship?
But messages I enjoy. I like the attention. It makes me very happy.
Do you get attention from the opposite sex? Do you get attention from
Both,
the same sex?
both, and it makes me happy that I get attention, yeah, from both the genders, because एक तो टाइम था स्कूल में जहाँ पर लोग देखते भी नहीं थे, ठीक है, लोग बात भी नहीं करते थे. यहाँ पर लोग इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं, आपकी प्रोफाइल पे आके मैसेज कर रहे हैं. आई एम वेरी थैंकफुल. आई एम लाइक कुछ तो अच्छा किया होगा कि ये हो रहा है. So I'm very happy with the attention. I don't want it to go away. It's been there since I was 19. So I was really happy कि ये जाए ना. So I'll keep working towards it. जब नहीं आ
I
रहा
know you were
था.
dating some TV actors at some point. I do know that.
I don't remember.
Yeah. Okay. So
I
that's
don't
why.
remember.
So that's why I'm saying, what are the do's and don'ts in a relationship for you?
Oh shit. Yeah, I mean, honesty is one. It has to, yeah, थोड़ा, you have to be.
Example दो मुझे.
यार ये,
My ex messaged me. Tell me.
हाँ.
Something like that maybe. Like you would want to know. No, not yet.
Ex didn't message me. I blocked her.
No, I'm saying.
Yeah. No shit.
I have only been blocked, so I don't know how it feels to
बड़ा मजा आता
get
है.
blocked somewhere.
नहीं पहले उसने किया था फिर मैंने कर दिया. ये अगर अनब्लॉक भी करेगी. No, but it's very simple for me. I like to like, because we are as an industry, like as actors, we are so exposed to the media and everything. I think वो आपका एक हिस्सा private रहना चाहिए. वो बहुत secret होता है. Like even with my friends and family, I do a lot of bizarre shit in life. And I'm a very, like, my humor is weird and shit. So I want that to be private, क्योंकि कुछ लोग नहीं समझते हैं, और I don't want judgment of people who don't know me like that. तो मैं थोड़ी चीज़ें private रखता हूँ उस मामले में. And yeah, I like the attention. I'm very happy with it.
That's very true, because even in my school, I used to be this nerdy, chubby kid, and
Chubby, yes, I
Yeah.
understand it.
and people would not think of you as someone who's should be approached. So when it like started coming in after the film, I was in disbelief, because as kids you're made to believe a certain thing. No, you come up with a narrative that I'm not someone who gets attention. So when it comes to you, you're in disbelief because your mind is saying something else. It's like, So that's true.
So I have to take it that you're single.
I'm single.
And you didn't even bat an eyelid, so maybe you're telling the truth. Yes, you have do's and don'ts.
Yes, genuinely it's honesty. Second would be, I really like when somebody is so passionate about their own life and own job. That's very important for me.
So he's not stalking you and he's not being needy.
No, I'm saying it's just really nice to have somebody who's, has his own life, because what happens is if there's less passion and there's something lacking in that aspect, so because I am so passionate, that's too much for that person. So, that then slowly becomes a little competitive, becomes a little toxic. So, I don't want that. I want somebody who's equally passionate about whatever he is doing in his life. I have my own life and have that own me time, and then have something to do together. So, there's value for each other.
It's important to be independent and also love your own self in a relationship. If you forget that,
people tend to decimate.
So people also start loving somebody else while you're in a relationship.
So he's been cheating upon.
That is so
sad. Well done. We should clap for him.
He's redder than anything now.
You're
becoming fully so red.
he's becoming your dress's color now.
Makeup लगा के है
नहीं,
ये genuine red है.
Always going to be private about this part of my life. One, because I have my reasons. Few years ago, when I was a bit public with someone, so-called fan clubs, they really budge out that person. It was just nasty stuff like chudel and just getting worse with time. So and somewhere I just felt that it's not right to her, even though I don't care. Like if I'm dating someone, my close people will always know. But I feel somewhere as actors, you need to just protect that side, because sometimes people don't get it. They think that you are their property. Like, how is it happening? How are you dating someone? Oh, she's not good for you. Oh, she's not. And then going on their profile, removing their past pictures, putting up. So I've had that experience once in my life. So I've always decided to keep that low in my life publicly. I genuinely feel my partner needs to be ambitious, like have their own thing going on. And I feel as actors, we are too obsessed, yeah. Like I still feel like the opposite person will not get what you're chasing, because this is a whole different world we are living in. We are trying to touch the stars. Let's just say it that way. So for a normal person who's it's like, dude, you're bloody obsessed. Like, calm down, Like, why are you investing? Itna time क्यों? तुम्हारा दिल क्यों टूट रहा है? तुम्हारा ये क्यों हो रहा है? तुमको नहीं मिला कुछ. It's little hard to convey that to a person who's not from the same background and the same dream. So I feel somebody who has their own thing going on will somewhat relate to me. And don'ts, I think, just disrespect, and I think loyalty is very important in today's time, because you can lose it with just one swipe, and you won't even know what's happening.
That's so dangerous.
So I feel loyalty is something which you need in today's time, because everyone is dispensable now. Like, you have an option ready in a second. You can download 10 apps and be like, okay, I'm going out tonight and I'm doing something. So I don't agree with that culture in my life yet. So I feel, loyalty is very important.
Also security, because we were talking about it, that if somebody is just secure, so no matter...
That's rare, yaar, in
it's
today's
so rare,
time.
but
That's
no,
very
that's
rare.
why
But
it's
an interesting
important.
point, because when you date an actor, you're like, why are you obsessing about, do take a chill pill. That it always happens. I have friends like that who date actors, and then they say, what's going on? Why is he unraveling so rapidly?
Also, one more thing, we are quite badnaam, oh, why are you dating an actor? I've had girls where their parents have told them that, how can you date an actor? Why are you in with him? Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I've heard that a lot, and I'm like, guys, there are some real gentlemen out there who don't want to just, have that old school buzz ke actor hai, So it's just that whole perception needs to change.
And before I wrap up, I have to ask you one final question. If there was one thing you would have done differently, looking at 2024, and generally, like they say, what would you tell your younger self? So in that vein, What is it that you would have done differently if you were given a chance again?
Honestly though, I have loved my journey. It's been up and down. I love the way it is. I would just tell my younger self कि लगे रहे. I know कि मुश्किल लग रहा है, but लगे रहे. You'll find happiness, you'll find sadness, and all these emotions will help you grow as a person. So just keep at it. Don't worry, you'll figure it out.
That plus basketball नहीं छोड़ना चाहिए था. I should have played a sport, that's all. Really? Yeah.
I would just say don't doubt yourself. Self-doubt is also one thing that I think actors tend to have quite a lot, that oh, I made this
All of you are
decision, is it
overthinkers,
okay?
clearly.
Yeah, but I think it happens in our industry quite a lot. So I would just try to tell my younger self that calm down, you will make it happen.
I'm going to say it for everyone, spend lesser time on the phone. I feel this Reels has, how much ever I love it, I love my memes and all, but I think I need to stay away from my phone. But in all honesty, in a serious way, I would like to love myself more and not be so harsh. I think we all are too harsh on ourselves. Like, just chill, man. It's one life. You never know what's going to happen outside the building, so just chill.
Just go get a coffee at Grounded.
Okay, thank you. This has been one of my most fun, refreshing conversations. As you see, we don't have a questionnaire, we don't have a rapid fire round, but thank you very much for all of you showing your authentic selves. Thank you, Varun. Thank you, Preeti. Thank you, Anushka. Thank you, Jibraan. Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much.
much. So much.
And I wish you the very, very best. Dua nikalti hai, as they say. Do well, do well.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Inshallah.